Om Shanti. This is the Avyakt Murli of 6th of January 1986, and the title is The Confluence Age, the Age to Accumulate. Today, Trikaldarshi Bapdada, the one who knows all the three aspects of time of all the children, is seeing the account of accumulation of all the time. You all know that throughout the whole cycle, the only time to accumulate an elevated account is this confluence age. It is a short age and a short life. However, the specialty of this age and life is that anyone can accumulate as much as he or she wants at this time. According to the elevated account of this time, you attain the status of being worthy of worship, and then from being worthy of worship, you also become a worshipper. It is only at this time that you accumulate an elevated account of elevated actions, elevated knowledge, elevated relationships, elevated powers, and elevated virtues. From the Copper Age, there is the temporary account of devotion in which you do something and you instantly receive the fruit of that, and it is finished. The account of devotion is for a temporary period because you earn it and you then instantly consume it. The time to accumulate your imperishable account so that it continues for birth after birth is now. This is why this elevated time is called the most auspicious age and the age of charity. It is called the age of God's incarnation. This is remembered as the age in which you receive powers directly from the Father. It is in this age that the Father plays the part of being the bestower of fortune and the bestower of blessings. This is why this age is called the age of blessings. In this age, because of love, the Father becomes the innocent treasurer and he gives you multi-million-fold return of one. It is only at this time that you receive the special fortune of accumulating multi-million-fold return of one. In the other ages, there is the account of receiving as much as you do or give. There is a difference because at this time, the Father becomes the instrument to enable you to attain directly, both in the form of an inheritance and also blessings. In devotion, you receive the fruit of your faith and devotion, whereas here you receive the fruit of the inheritance and blessings. Therefore, do you continue to take every step while being Trikaldarshi and knowing the importance of this time, knowing the attainments, and knowing the account of accumulation? Do you know how elevated even 1 second of this time is compared to ordinary time? Do you know very well the account of how much you can earn in a second and how much you lose in a second? Or is it that you earn something and lose something in an ordinary way? You are not just wasting such invaluable time, are you? You have become Brahmakumars and Kumaris, but have you claimed a right to the imperishable inheritance and the special blessings. Those who have a right at this time claim a right for birth after birth. At this time, a soul who remains dependent on any type of nature, sanskar, or relationship becomes one who has a right to the status of a subject instead of having a right to a kingdom for birth after birth. Such a soul does not have a right to a kingdom, but becomes one who has a right to the status of a subject. You have come here to become Rajyogis, those who have a right to a kingdom. However, instead of that, because of the sanskar of being dependent, even though you are the children of the bestower of fortune, you are not able to claim a right to the kingdom. Therefore, always check to what extent you have become one who has a right over the self. How can someone who hasn't been able to attain a right over the self be able to claim the kingdom of the world? It is by becoming a self-sovereign at this time that you are preparing a living model of one who has a right to the kingdom of the world. Whenever you invent something, you first prepare a model of it, don't you? Therefore, first of all, look at this model. To be a self-sovereign, the master of oneself, means to be the king of all the physical organs, who are the subjects. Is it the rule of the subjects or the rule of the king? You can know this, can you not? If it is the rule of the subjects, you cannot be called a king. In the rule of the subjects, the dynasty of kings ends. If any one of the physical organs is deceiving you, you cannot be called a master of the self. Never think that there are always one or two weaknesses and that you are going to become perfect by the end. Even one weakness over a long period of time can deceive you at a critical time. The sanskar of being dependent over a long period of time will not allow you to become one with the right. Therefore, to be one with the right means to have a right over the self. Do not be deceived while under the impression that you will become perfect by the end. The sanskar of having a right over the self over a long period of time will enable you to have a right to the world over a long period of time. Those who become masters of the self for a short time will become ones who have a right to the kingdom of the world for a short time. Those who are seated on the Father's heart throne, according to the Father's order of becoming equal to the Father, are the ones who claim a right to the throne of the kingdom. To become equal to the Father means to be seated on the Father's heart throne. Just as Father Brahma became perfect and equal, so become perfect and equal. Claim a right to the throne of the kingdom. Do not attain anything less in terms of right to the inheritance and blessings due to any type of carelessness. Therefore, check your account of accumulation. The new year has just begun. Check your account of the past and accumulate in your new account with the help of the time and the Father's blessings. Do not create an account in which you earn and instantly consume. At Amrit Vela, you have yoga and you accumulate. During class time, you study and you accumulate. Then throughout the day, under the influence of circumstances and situations, under the influence of an attack from Maya, or under the influence of your own sanskars, you use that up in becoming victorious while battling. So, what was the result? You earned and you consumed it. So, what was accumulated? Therefore, always check your account of accumulation and continue to increase it. Similarly, in your chart too, do not just put a tick. Did you attend class? Yes. Did you have yoga? However, was your yoga powerful as it is supposed to be according to the time? Did you pass your time in a good way? You enjoyed yourself a lot and you created something for the present. But together with the present, did you also accumulate something? Did you have such a powerful experience? Do not just check whether you are moving along. Whenever you ask anyone how they are moving along, they say they are moving along very fine. However, check with what speed you are moving along. Are you moving along at the speed of an ant or at the speed of a rocket? This year, check the speed and the percentage of becoming powerful in everything. To what percentage are you accumulating? If it were 5 rupees, you would say you had accumulated. And if it were 500 rupees, you would also say you had accumulated. So, you accumulated. But how much did you accumulate? Do you understand what you have to do? You are moving towards the Golden Jubilee. This whole year is the year of the Golden Jubilee, is it not? So, check whether you are golden aged, that is, whether you have a Sato Pradhan stage in every respect, or are you Sato, which is the silver aged stage. Your effort should also be Sato Pradhan, golden aged. Your service too should be golden aged. There shouldn't be the slightest alloy of old sanskars. It shouldn't even be like nowadays, where they make silver gold plated. Externally, it looks like gold, but what is it internally? It would be said to be mixed, would it not? So, the alloy of arrogance and disrespect should not be mixed in service. This is called golden aged service. There shouldn't even be in your nature any feelings of jealousy, stubbornness, or trying to prove yourself right. This is alloy. Finish that alloy and become those with a golden aged nature. Always have the sanskars of Haji. You have to mold yourself according to the time and service. That is, you have to become real gold. I have to mold myself. If you think that you will mold yourself when others mold themselves, that is being stubborn. That is not real gold. Finish that alloy and become golden aged. In your relationships, let there always be good wishes and feelings of benevolence for everyone. Let there be feelings of love and cooperation. No matter what type of motive or nature someone has, your feelings should always be elevated. To bring about self-transformation in all of these things is to celebrate the golden jubilee. To burn the alloy means to celebrate the golden jubilee. Do you understand? Begin the new year with a golden aged stage. This is easy, is it not? At the beginning of hearing this, all of you understand that you have to do this. But when any problem comes in front of you, you think that it is something very difficult. At the time of a problem, it is the time to show your authority of a master of the self. It is only at the time of an attack that you have to be victorious. It is only at the time of an examination that you have to claim number one. Do not become an embodiment of problems, but become an embodiment of solutions. Do you understand what you have to do this year? Only then will the completion of the Golden Jubilee be called the Golden Jubilee of becoming complete. What other newness will you bring? All the children's thoughts reach Bapdada. What newness will you bring about in the programs? You have selected the topic of having golden thoughts. Have you not? Golden thoughts and golden ideas that make you gold and bring about the age of gold. This is the topic you have selected, is it not? Acha. Today, there was a chit-chat on this topic in the subtle region. Baba will tell you about that at a later time. Acha. To all the fortunate souls who have a double right to the inheritance and blessings, to the elevated souls who are constant masters of the self, to the real gold children who always stabilize themselves in the golden aged stage, to the special souls who, through deep love for self-transformation, move forward in world transformation, Bapdada's love, remembrance, and Namaste. Avyakt Bapdada, meeting the doctors who came for a meeting. You are engaged in the service of making all souls constantly happy with your elevated zeal and enthusiasm. Are you not? The special duty of doctors is to give every soul happiness. The first medicine is happiness. Happiness finishes half the illness. So, spiritual doctors means those who give the medicine of happiness. So, you are such doctors, are you not? If a soul experiences the sparkle of happiness even once, then that soul will constantly continue to fly with the sparkle of happiness. So, you are the doctors who make everyone double light and make them fly. Are you not? Those doctors make them get out of bed. They are able to make the patients who are bedridden get out of bed and make them walk. You take them away from the old world and sit them in the new world. Have you made such plans? You have made plans to use spiritual instruments. Have you not? What is the injection? What are the tablets? What is the blood transfusion? You have created all these spiritual facilities. If someone needs to be given blood, what spiritual blood will you give him? What medicine will you give a heart patient? A heart patient means a disheartened patient. So, you need spiritual material. All the new inventions they create are inventions created through the facilities of science. Through the facilities of silence, you make them free from disease for all time. They have a whole list of all the different instruments. In the same way, you too should have a long list. You are such doctors who should have such good facilities to make souls ever healthy. Have you made this your occupation? Have all of you doctors put up such boards at your places for making everyone ever healthy and ever wealthy? Just as those people write down their occupation, similarly, there should also be this writing so that as soon as people see it, they can understand what it is and come inside to have a look. It should be an attractive board. The content of the writing should be such that no one can stop himself from coming in for an introduction. The board should be such that there shouldn't be any need for you to call them, but that they themselves are pulled to come to you even against their wish. Those people write so and so, MBBS, but you have to have such a board on which you have your spiritual occupation written, through which they realize that this place is necessary. Have you created such a spiritual degree, or do you just write your worldly degrees? What should be the elevated facilities for service? The fastest means of service is service through powerful thoughts. Let there be powerful thoughts, words, and deeds. All three should work simultaneously. This is a powerful tool. When you come into words, the percentage of powerful thoughts reduces or the percentage remains the same, and that makes a difference to the power of words. However, all three should be simultaneous. With a patient, someone would be operating on him and another person would be feeling the pulse at the same time. All would be happening simultaneously. What would happen if the person operating continued to operate, but the one who checks the pulse did that later? So many tasks are carried out simultaneously. Similarly, the spiritual tools for service should also work simultaneously. You have made plans for service, and that is very good. However, invent such a facility that everyone understands that, yes, this spiritual doctor will make them healthy for all time. Acha, Bap Dada speaking to groups. What would be the signs of those who have been victorious many times? They would feel everything to be very easy and light. Those who are not victorious for cycle after cycle would find even a trivial task to be difficult. They would not find it easy. However, before beginning any task, the others would have the experience that the task is already accomplished. They would never question whether it will happen or not. They would always feel that That task is already accomplished. They know that they always have success and that they will have victory. They would have such faith in the intellect. They would not find anything to be new. They would feel that everything is very old. They would continue to make themselves move along in this awareness. What are the signs of being double light? Double light souls constantly and easily experience the flying stage. It is not that they sometimes stop and sometimes fly. Only souls who constantly experience being in the flying stage, such double light souls, claim a right to the double crown. Double light souls automatically experience the highest stage. Whenever any situation arises, remember that you are double light. To become children means you become light. You cannot carry any burdens. Acha, blessing, may you be full of all treasures and thereby do constant service and be a constant and unending great donor. At the confluence age, Bap Dada has given all of you children the blessing of constant and unending. Those who imbibe this blessing in a practical form and become constantly great donors, that is, those who become constant and easy servers, become number one. Even devotee souls become donors in the copper age, but they cannot become donors of the unending treasures. They become donors of perishable treasures and things, whereas you children of the bestower, who are full of all treasures, cannot stay without donating for even a second. Slogan: internal cleanliness and honesty is revealed through easiness of nature. Om Shanti.